Welcome to another episode of the Student Pension Podcast. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are listening to this. I am Sally Amakweku, the host for this episode. And as we all know, the Student Pension Podcast mainly discusses the pension schemes pertaining to students. On today's episode, we will narrow our discussion to the roles of universities in promoting student pension schemes. I have here with me a lecturer of the UNIMAC IJ and a public relations officer, Mr. Fuseni Idrisu. Welcome, Mr. Fuseni, and thank you for joining us on the Student Pension Podcast.
Hello.
Okay.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to your cherished listeners and followers. It's good to be here.
So, Mr. Fuseni, focusing our episode on the roles of universities in promoting student pension scheme, can you tell us how SSNIT scheme addresses the unique needs of students, such as flexible income streams?
Well, it's so important that universities from the word go start to prepare students' minds towards their pensions. Because right from the student, it is calculated that students will be entering into the job market. And it is only right and proper that the university provide that platform to prepare students for what is ahead of them. Until recently, we had a discussion some time ago. You mentioned to me that an expert informed you that even with the petty allowances that students are getting from their parents, they are able to come to SSNIT and register and put something from their own choice right down that will serve as a preparatory grounds for their future pension scheme. And I thought that was a brilliant idea, that if universities were to encourage students to take advantage of these schemes that SSNIT have for them, it will help them, it will prepare them, it will even empower them with the culture of putting something down for your future, which normally Africans, specifically Ghanaians, we don't really take it serious. I mean, thinking of tomorrow, we always want to enjoy everything today. Have the beer with the, bankule and tilapia and fufu and all that. But it's good universities begin to empower students, capacity building workshops, training sections about how students can, in their own way, start to build their pension scheme. And should they even get to the, working environment, be it formal or informal, being so that they are well empowered to be able to take advantage of SSNIT pension scheme.
Okay, also, do you think that there are any plans that the university has to modify or to expand SSNIT's pension scheme in order to better serve students?
Universities are different institutions with their own policies. In Ghana, we don't have one policy that all universities must subscribe to, except, of course, a few ones that borders on academic, the way we go about academic work and all that. But these type of policies, it may be university-based, right? Over here, UNIMAC, I don't really recall we having something of that sort, right? But it is possible that other universities that we have about 16 public universities and quite a number of private ones. So some may have a definite policy of helping students to prepare for their pension scheme, and that may be commendable if such exists within the fold of the tertiary institutions.
But in your personal opinion, what do you think? UNIMAC as an example, or the managers, the management team of the institution can do in order to help educate or promote early pension scheme for students?
Yeah, it has to begin from a conscious effort, right? A deliberate effort to imbibe that spirit into students, especially so when the SSNIT laws does not make provisions for students to contribute. I mean, if you are not employed, if you're unemployed, it doesn't really have that space for you. Except, of course, like what I mentioned earlier, from your own monthly allowances that you get from your parents, that per their own explanation, you're able to put something down. So the universities can be a facilitating place where we even teach students, because most of the students might not be aware, but for your podcast that dedicates time to discuss some of these important topics, most students wouldn't even be aware that I have this opportunity to build my future. So the university can be a facilitating place where there will be seminars, there will be conferences, there will be symposiums, there will be workshops to build students' knowledge base about the whole grand scheme of, Senate pension policy and where the student fits in, right? And the school can even invite them here. We can have them here to come and interact with our students, to come and even start with registering for their Senate numbers. Social security numbers. There's nothing wrong with students should have their own social security numbers and to start with. So once they start working, they already have the number. It's just about regularizing the number and to have their deductions with Senate. So I think the school can do that.
Yeah, I agree with you, because engaging some students, most of them had no idea that as a student you could be involved in, an early pension scheme. So I think if the university starts something to promote or educate the student, that is also going to help.
Yeah.
Before we conclude on this, do you have any advice that you would give to students who are considering enrolling in Senate's pension scheme?
Would they even listen? That's the problem. Students are obsessed with iPhones and they want to look good. They want to have beautiful wigs like your own, wear the beautiful dresses. So, telling them to put something down, it sounds good, but the motivation to do it is always a problem. But let me speak to students directly, wherever they are hearing me from their various campuses, that it's important to start building your savings, character. And it begins with some of these petty initiatives that you take for yourself. Putting something down. If you are to keep it with your traditional money box, you might be influenced to go and break it and eat the money. Let me use the street language. But then, if you have a policy with SNET, at least something small, it's not what they decide for you, but what you decide for yourself. Something small, put it down. It makes you responsible. It's kind of create the spirit of responsibility that you're already thinking of your future even before you enter the job market, right? So it's good, my dear students, wherever you are hearing me from. If you are not registered with SNET, you take the initiative, go and see them, register, get your number, and you're able to disclose to them the few amount that you are getting from your parents and the amount you're able to put down every month to support yourself against any future difficulty.
Thank you, Mr. Fusini. And wherever you are listening to us, as I said earlier, my name is Sally Kweku, and our guest today is a lecturer at the Unimark IJ, Mr. Fusini Idrisu. Thank you so much, sir, for the insight. And this is Student Pension Podcast. Stay tuned for more updates on student pension schemes.